I've been wanting to share this for a few days. The eclipse that we went through, as well as the 9-9 portal, which is about bringing in karmic endings. What we are experiencing is that whatever have been your struggles for the last, maybe many months, or for some of you, maybe 2 years or something along the lines of that, there will be an acceleration into closing out that kind of a cycle. So, what it means is that, let us say you were really struggling with people pleasing. You really still probably notice that, you people please sometimes, or you go into this response where you freeze or you fawn and you want to make other people more comfortable at the cost of your own self. Or there is something else where there is a certain person in your life, with whom you have a very difficult connection with, or a very difficult relationship with, maybe with an abuser victim kind of a dynamic, or you make too many self-sacrifices to keep things going in your reality. So what's going to happen is that you would have noticed that you are going to close those cycles off. Closing those cycles off, it means that there will be a certain intensity and a certain rush. There can be a multiplicity of events. Let's say in one day, 2 or 3 events can happen, where you quickly notice how fast this is going for you, like how fast you are learning the same lesson. Suppose you need to learn that I unapologetically want to say no. So then, for a few days or over a period of several days or several weeks, you will learn through multiple events that will happen maybe one after the other, or several events are going to happen very, very close together for you to become aware of this pattern, that you need to become comfortable with saying no. What is the part within you that resists saying no because it is very afraid and it doesn't want to upset people? And from where is this part operating? At what point of time in your life, in your childhood, you developed this kind of a consciousness where you were very afraid to just be yourself? This is one example. It could be anything that you have been processing for several months or even longer, maybe 1 year or even longer than that. You were really trying to overcome this, and this was like a major unconscious block in your ascension process. You will notice that such an ending will come, and it will be a very holistic ending because it will root it out from the base, the problem. So, such an event is very useful for solar plexus, and ever since the 8-8 portal, as well as in general for twin flames, it's a very important awakening of our solar plexus that we go through, where we start to claim our voice back. We claim who we are, something we may have never been comfortable with, unapologetically being ourselves. So twin flames often also have karmic situations, because which are all about the weakened solar plexus. They're all about giving our power away to something outside of us, where we believe something external determines how we feel. It can be seeking external validation, it can be seeking an external connection, it can be seeking some form of a codependence that we believe helps us. We believe without this person or situation we will not be able to live. So such a situation, you could totally come out of this because of the energies that we are experiencing right now, the intensity having gone up so much, especially since the eclipse. Like maybe a few weeks or a few months prior to that, you were already working on this, you were already noticing that how life is guiding you to fully claim your power. And now you will notice the intensity is going to go up, or already has actually started going up very, very strongly. So this is one thing. So you're ready to close off that, energy leak, that kind of a cycle. And one very important thing is, because this is a time in India, in the Hindu culture, this is the time until the 21st, or I suppose the 20th of September. It's a time period where we honor our ancestors. So you may be having dreams of your ancestors, maybe your grandparents or passed on loved ones. They needn't sometimes only be our ancestors. It can just be deceased loved ones that you knew as friends, etc. They can visit you, especially if it's been like a while, since they passed on, not recently, but maybe longer than 4 years or something like that. They can visit you in dreams, and they can bring you some messages. There can be closures with certain ancestral people, maybe like uh, maybe a grandparent or someone that you miss deeply, that you had a very strong connection with. There can be closures which can come through dream states. This is a wonderful time to honor your ancestors. So in the Hindu culture, for many of you who already know about it, you may know how to do this from your own end. But what I can share with you is that always, whenever you're offering something to the souls of your ancestors, there is obviously a genetic responsibility, you may say, or you may say just a genetic connection that you share with your ancestors or your loved ones. So what you can actually do is you can offer some food that you cook with your heart and your soul, something with a lot of intention, and you can offer it to people who are hungry, people who are needy. You can definitely offer them food with a lot of love and affection, with the intention that you're doing this to honor your ancestors, to honor specific ancestors especially. You can also feed the birds. In India, we feed the crows, for instance, which are considered to be messengers from the other side. And you can also feed other animals, anybody that you feel. And if your intent is very strong, you will notice that the universe will meet that intent by sending people along the way who can be representatives of your ancestral energies and giving you the opportunity to honor them. Like, it could mean that you suddenly run into someone who is homeless or is needy, who kind of oddly resembles your grandfather, or something like that, which is how the universe tells you that these are the similar energies that you can basically honor by offering them food. So your intention, your love matters. Do this only if it happens very naturally to you. If it feels like a task, or like, oh God, I need to do this, or this is for my union, I'm going to do this so that my energies are cleansed and I'm going to come into union, then don't do it. Because you shouldn't be trying to negotiate for personal desires when it comes to honoring our ancestors or doing any kind of a spiritual work. It should be for your own ascension, for your own pathway. It shouldn't be to, if I do this, then I'm going to get this. It shouldn't be calculative. And very often, unfortunately, rituals and stuff, they become very calculative in nature. Or whenever we honor somebody, we offer something to someone, it becomes it comes from the intention that I'm going to get something in turn. Our mind tries to do this, our ego tries to do this, and it makes every action then very, very petty. So there are no deals that we make with the divine. We only offer ourselves to the divine, and we only offer ourselves to the ancestors. We do not do this like, you don't meditate so that you come into union, or you don't do inner work so that your divine masculine awakens. You just do this because if you do anything, it's for your own sake. It's because you are being called to do this for your own upliftment, for your own ascension. That intention has to be very clear. So this is why there is no effort needed from the side of the divine feminine when it comes to her spiritual ascension process, because her intention at a certain stage, after a certain point, is always about her own awakening. It's always about becoming the higher version of herself for her sake, and everything else that follows is just a byproduct, right, of that, which could be the masculine awakening, of course, in turn, and her union following her. That is always as a byproduct of her ascension. It's not going to be denied to her, but it's not something she's chasing or running after, because the part that chases and runs after is very much our egoic self. Okay. So this is all I wanted to share with you all. You can also subscribe to Patreon, where I have recently posted about the awakening process of the divine masculine, comparing it deeply with the process of the feminine, what exactly happens parallel to each other. You can find it very helpful. And I will be posting more on Patreon for this month. And if you subscribe to either of the two tiers, you get access to all the videos posted at the level of those tiers. At tier 2 level, if you subscribe, you get access to everything on Patreon. And you can work one-on-one with me by emailing me to book a session by going first through the link in the description box and seeing the types of sessions that I offer. And I'm sending you so much love. Have a beautiful day. A solar eclipse is coming in, of course, very soon, and we will be seeing a lot of changes. So I'll try to post around that time. Sending you love.